Well, in Eugene, it's in the 70s today. Just an absolutely beautiful, gorgeous September Saturday. The Oregon Ducks taking the field as always. It's a statement. And today, brilliant silver helmets. And beautifully for us, numbers we can see. That's self-interest. All right, let's join now the third member of our team. Wants to talk a little bit about the defense, Yogi Roth.
When we talk about tempo, it's usually Oregon's offense, but it's their defense that loves practicing at a ridiculous tempo. So much so that they feel as though they've already played 4 games this week. How? Well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday during practice, they have 3 12-minute periods where they run a total of 95 plays per day. Why do they do it? They want to simulate a game. They want to simulate tempo, alignment at the line of scrimmage, finishing through the whistle. And one of the lead players that does that on the defensive side is senior defensive end Kenjon Barner. They call him the praying mantis. He's 6'7", runs a 4.5 40, and he flies off the edge. Today he'll be coming off the edge of Carr. Sometimes he'll drop into coverage, but he will have to be accounted for by this Fresno offense. Now, for all Oregon fans, what do you have to do to beat Fresno State today? Well, defensively, you got to do 3 things. 1, stop the perimeter running attack. 2, stop the vertical passing game. You're going to see a passing attack from Fresno State that we haven't seen ever at Fresno State. And finally, on 3rd down, you better get after Carr. He is a Pac-12 caliber quarterback and an absolute dynamic playmaker with his arm and his legs. It's an exciting atmosphere. Everybody's ready, and we will be back with an electric game here at Autzen Stadium on the Pac-12 networks.
Home life and banking, get to a better state. 84th consecutive sellout at Autzen Stadium again, despite the fact classes here, about half the Pac-12 is on the quarter system, and classes will not start until the end of the month, and the Ducks will play 3 home games, non-conference games here prior to students being on. No shortage, though, of fans. And it's all yellow, save for 1 sliver in the end zone. And it's beautifully color coordinated. There's 1 sliver of red that are the Fresno State. There they are, the Fresno State section. They can't hide.
It was awfully kind of the Oregon Ducks to give them a little slice of the stadium.
And a welcome to all of you just joining us here on the Pac-12 networks in Eugene. Fresno State will receive the opening kick. Oregon won the toss, deferred. Alejandro Maldonado to kick for the Ducks. Milton Knox and Isaiah Burse are deep for Fresno State. And we're underway. This will be Knox coming out from the 3. Oh, he got stapled. A big special teams hit just at the 20-yard line. As you see, Derek Carr, a junior. His numbers last year, especially the touchdown to pick ratio, most impressive. 12 years the younger of David. And David Carr does, or at least has made it a point to come to at least 1 game a year. It's usually the bye week in the NFL when he gets a chance to watch his brother play in person. In the gun with Robbie Rouse, the outstanding runner to the right of Carr. Quick throw to an impressive first-year player. That's Davante Adams, who had 7 catches in Fresno's first game last week. As we look at the Esurance starting lineup, that's the 5 up front. It'll get tested, especially against the Deion Jordan talent. And Rouse, along with Adams, we mentioned Adams from California, with those 7 receptions last week. A first down play of 12 yards. And Carr throwing a long deep out into a lot of Oregon shirts. Maybe lucky that one didn't get picked. Brian Jackson in there to get a hand on it. Esurance Oregon starting 4. There's the front, anchored by Jordan. Nick Aliotti, the D coordinator, calls Kiko Alonso the smash, and Michael Clay, the glue of the defense. John Boyette not starting. That's a key member of the Oregon secondary. Late note on that one. And Rouse gets smothered by Jordan.
Well, twice on that drive, Nick Aliotti coming with the pressure. Dion Jordan right down the line of scrimmage, unblocked, makes a tackle on the line of scrimmage.
That's bizarre. He is 6'7", 240 plus, moving like that. So Fresno State backed up into 3rd and 9, and now we get jumping and pointing.
False start. Offense 73. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Our referee is one of the Pac-12's veterans, Jay Strickers. And there's Tim DeRuyter. And it's a new era in Fresno State football. The long Pat Hill era gone. Tim DeRuyter take over. The entire staff, save for one assistant, is brand new. Everything at Fresno State this year new. And you, Adam, you were talking about the offense is new.
Oh, they want to open it up, but they're keeping a lot of the Pat Hill principles of toughness and discipline.
Isaiah Burst spinning away and getting some yardage, but not nearly enough on the long 3rd. And so Oregon surrenders 1 first down, and then will force a punt. And Chip Kelly with the extraordinary start. You think of a gentleman that had never been a head coach before, and all he's done is that. 3 straight BCS Bowls. And he starts this season as a national, one of 2 Pac schools as a national contender. Fake punt, and it's going to work. Well, Fresno State with a shock to start.
Well, what a gutsy call by Tim DeRuyter to start the game off in his own territory. Watch the punter right here. He just takes the ball. Andrew Shapiro, nobody on the right side of the Oregon defense. Everybody was fooled, and a great chance. Keep the drive alive, change the field position.
How about that? 23 yards, and what usually doesn't happen to punters, he took a pretty good stick at the end. So Derek Carr right back to work now at the Oregon 42. They've gone empty. 5 receivers, but they take too long.
Delay of game. Offense, number 4. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So in a little bit of the chaos following the fake punt, Fresno does not get the snap off. And you see that, well, that's a great signal right there. One of the Fresno players, be aware. Same formation. Looking left comes to Rouse. Nice avoidance. Rouse makes 2 men miss. And Rouse takes it to the Oregon 35. Terrence Mitchell, the finish for the Ducks.
And they love to use Robbie Rice out of the backfield, especially in the empty formations. They love the matchup. Out in space, you see Dion Jordan has a chance to tackle, makes another defender miss. That's a good play, getting a lot of yardage that they lost off of that penalty, making it 2nd and short.
Fake the run, nice slant. And sneaking behind was Josh Harper, and it'll be 1st and goal for Fresno.
Savvy quarterback play. Derek Carr, he pump fakes to get Michael Clay to come up, and then sneaks it right into that little window behind him. Excellent job by Derek Carr, using his smarts, getting Michael Clay to jump up underneath and sneak that ball right behind.
The mark is actually at the 13, 1st down. Rouse goes inside. And Adam, I'm wondering how significant Tim DeRuyter, I think we saw by calling the fake punt on the 1st possession, how significant he feels it is to be in the game early, to not let Oregon steamroll you like they did to Arkansas State.
Oregon is one of the best in college football, have been one of the best at starting fast. They love to jump up on opponents. And Tim DeRuyter said, look, we want to match the tempo. We want to come out slinging. We don't want to be conservative. And he feels he has the offense to do it.
Once again, Fresno State goes empty. Carr throws a nice ball, batted up in the air, and then it is almost picked. Devontae Adams, the intended receiver, Brian Jackson. contested. And that ball for a tantalizing second was up there to be had.
Again, empty formation, and it looked like Devontae Adams had Brian Jackson off of the line of scrimmage. It was a great release, and Carr just needed to float that up to Adams, who's a tall wide receiver at 6'2". That could have been a touchdown. Underthrown ball.
A bunch. There you see the tight bunch to the right for Fresno State on third down. Blitz coming middle. Fresno picks it, but they get it from the outside. So Nick Aliotis sent a bunch, and it worked.
This is one of their favorite pressures. They bring both linebackers, Kiko Alonso and Boseko Locumbo, up the middle. You see Alonso and Locumbo on the outside. Overwhelms the right tackle over there, Cody Wickman, and Derek Carr didn't have a chance.
And so now that sack makes the field goal more challenging. 39 yards for Quentin Brashears. He's a second year in the program, first-year player from Turlock, California. And Brashears nails it. All right, so that's important. Fresno State put a lot on that first possession, and they get 3. So now, take a quick break, and then Oregon goes to work. A 67-yard drive on the opening possession. Fresno State gets the first points, and now let's take a look at the Principal Financial Group edge to the game, Adam.
Well, for Oregon, you just got to play like a duck. They know exactly what they're doing. Keep the tempo up, continue to be explosive, and get the ball. DeAnthony Thomas, you have to be able to feed this kid because he is a touchdown-making machine. And for Fresno, you got to be able to tackle. No yards after contact, no yards after the catch. You have to limit the explosive plays and make Oregon earn every drop on the ground.
The first of what we assume will be several measures of respect for DeAnthony Thomas. Just a short kick to force a fair catch. Marcus Mariota. His debut, again, he's a second year in the program, but his first game last week, look at the accuracy, 18 of 22, and he only played a quarter and a half.
It was a great start. They did a great job of managing that game, putting in a package of plays that he was comfortable with. I'm sure they're going to add to it this game, but a brilliant start to a freshman year.
6'4" from Honolulu. And a running play on first down. And as it always seems for Oregon, big run by Kenjon Barner out to midfield, and Oregon is going to go right away into the hurry-up as the Eugene offensive line, which Barner himself told us yesterday, he said smartest offensive line in college football. Mariota with a keeper. He gets 4. And you'll see just an entire slew of receivers that'll roll in and out. 14 different men caught passes for Oregon last week. And 2nd and 6. The quick pace again, and Barner drives for another Oregon first. Insurance Fresno defense. They've switched this year. They've switched to a 3-4, hoping that those ends, Williams and Jennings, can anchor things. Patrick Sua starting as an inside linebacker due to an injury. And this option, there he goes. Touchdown. There's some things in life you just shake your head when you watch this.
Mariota takes a huge lick right there, pitches the ball perfectly. And DeAnthony Thomas, how many times can you say it? Nobody touches him when he carries the ball. It's unbelievable, and I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. Another touchdown for such an exciting football player. But the stick, Mariota, it happened last week against Arkansas State in that option. He took a huge lick. I couldn't get a read on who it was, but he pitches the ball out there. Perfect timing and execution, and DeAnthony Thomas does the rest.
Rob Beard with the point. 39-yard run DeAnthony Thomas, it took Oregon all of 51 seconds to score. A little bit more now after Fresno State cranked out a drive to score 3 points. Oregon takes 4 plays to score 7, and that just plays right into their incredible pace of the last couple of years. Maldonado to kick once again for the Ducks. This will be taken by different return man out across the 20-yard line. And near the 30-yard line, and we would tell you who it is, except that's a double number, and we don't know.
Well, we love to give DeAnthony Thomas and the skill positions all the credit, but watch the perfect orchestra that has to happen. Mariota right here at quarterback. He's getting ready to pitch the ball. You got Colt Lyerla, Josh Huff on the outside, and DeAnthony Thomas is going to take the pitch. Watch the blocking.
Huff's block was awesome.
And that's something that this Oregon offense stresses. If you can't block as a wide receiver, you are not going to see the field, and that's a huge reason why this team is so explosive, and guys like DeAnthony Thomas can get to the edge.
And up inside to Robbie Rouse. I would imagine that in the film room this week, Josh Huff's block is going to get him a lot of praise.
It's all about teamwork, and yes, they have explosive athletes, but they have to be able to get the blocks on the outside. They do such a good job of getting to the second level, and then they have the speed to just kill you deep.
That's how DeAnthony Thomas has become such an extraordinary weapon. And now the Oregon defense pursues Rouse. Kiko Alonso leading the rush. And now Fresno State trying to establish a little something on the ground, but they get no gain, and they'll face 3rd and 5.
And these linebackers are so athletic. They love to press the line of scrimmage, get penetration in the backfield.
All right, Carr goes empty. Underneath cross, and going to be dragged down just short of the first down. Ifo Ekpre Olumu.
Nice job by Olumu, man-to-man coverage, and they're trying to get Devontae Adams to just be able to run after the catch. Doing a good job of limiting the gain and forcing a 4th down.
Well, Adams got 4. Fresno State is 1 yard short. And Tim DeRuyter sends out Shapiro and the punt team. Well, you can't punt it away from Thomas. What you can do is hang it and hope it's a fair catch. And that one hangs short. Down by Fresno State. 3/4 of Shapiro's punts for Fresno State last year were not returned. That's a net 37. So Oregon, which won the initial Pac-12 championship game on this very field last year to make it 3 straight. DeAnthony Thomas is ridiculous. The ratio of touchdowns to touches. And yes, this is the staple of Oregon football.
He reminds me a lot of Devin Hester. Now, that's how dangerous he is. Anytime Devin Hester, the Chicago Bears, gets his hands on the ball in the punt game, the return game, and open field, he's an unbelievable weapon, a great game breaker.
So the Oregon defense did themselves a favor there. They got a 3 and out, so now Mariota back to work. Finds Barner out of the backfield. And let's go to the sidelines once again and check in with Yogi Roth.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota is doing a great job because he's going up against a 3-4 defense, and everything changes for him. That means his identification, where linebackers are aligned, where the safeties are, and that's totally different week to week.
Barner, look at him find a great alley. Still going. And finally run out of bounds by Darren Smith. Not until he gets inside the Fresno State 35.
It's all about patience. Watch Kenjon Barner. He stretches it out all the way to the sideline, and then you see the natural separation right there. Great job by the offensive line creating the vertical seams, and Barner hits the hole.
34 yards. Now Mariota going to roll off the fake. And Mariota keeps it. He can move a little bit. See how well he gets down to the 24.
And that's what they love. They love the skill set that he brings. He's a great passer. He has excellent touch. He can spin the ball, make all the throws, but he gives you that dimension. He can hurt you on the ground, and they don't want him to take a lot of shots, but they expect him to be quite a force in the run game.
And Mariota keeping. What a great fake. What a great fake all the way up out of bounds. Not score. Ruled out at the 2. That was a brilliant fake.
And he shows off this sneaky speed that he has. So effortless right here. He just fakes the pitch, and they think that he's going to get the ball out there to Barner. But he turns the corner. A lot of different ways this Oregon offense can get at you.
And they'll score on the next play. DeAnthony Thomas. 2 touches, 2 scores.
It's an easy game, Ted.
Well, you know as well as anyone it ain't supposed to be. What's staggering about Oregon is how, you know, there's a phrase that's kind of blown up in football the last couple of years, explosive plays. In Oregon's case, they get in these modes where it'd be much simpler to list their non-explosive plays.
Ruling on the field, on the touchdown, was that the runner was out of bounds at the 3-yard line prior to the touchdown run. Plays under further review.
Well, apparently they're reviewing Mariota's run. And Oregon, Chip Kelly's trying to get an explanation. Did Oregon hurt themselves with the, not that it's a big deal, but this is what they're reviewing. See, Mariota's left toe, and that's what we saw the replay. The fans in the stadium can't tell when it's on the board, but you could clearly see the rubber, the ground up rubber flashing up from the white turf.
Yeah, it's an easy call.
Yes. And it's well done by the referees to pick the officials rather to see that and mark that ball out of bounds.
He said something on here.
So, from everything we understood from what Jay Stricker said, the buzz came down to review the previous play, and the buzz came prior to the touchdown that Thomas scored.
And I think that's what Chip Kelly is talking. He feels like they were able to run that play before the buzz came down. And of course, there's no way of knowing when exactly that occurred.
Well, and this is going to be something I'm sure that will happen throughout the year. And
another advantage of the tempo.
Well, Adam, I was going to say that the tempo Oregon plays out is going to force the replay booth to be, you know, hey, if there's any question, buzz right away. And of course, Oregon doesn't want that because they don't want to be penalized for their tempo. Am I right on that?
Well, yeah, but it can work out either way. You know, it's not always going to go against the other team. So. But I think that's something that Chip Kelly is willing to live with. He loves the tempo, and they do such a good job of overwhelming their opponent when it comes to coming out fast and shocking them, especially teams that aren't used to playing them on a regular basis. It can be really easy to get overwhelmed down there and see exactly. It's different than it looks like on TV when you witness it in person.
Prior to the ball being snapped on the last play, replay stopped the game. The runner was ruled out of bounds at the 3-yard line. That play has been confirmed. Oregon ball, 1st and goal at the 3. Timer, reset the game clock to 6.
That's an excellent explanation from Jay Strickers. And now Oregon's not happy with the result, but it's the right call. I mean, the initial call was correct on the field right there.
You can clearly see he's out of bounds. And now I guess you have to take a touchdown off the board for DeAnthony Thomas.
That's the point. If the play was stopped by the review booth, they do. So that's what the fans are unhappy about, is the touchdowns erased for the moment. 1st and goal at the 3. And Kenjon Barner's going to get the handoff, and he'll score the touchdown.
They switch Barner over to the right side, and It's a pretty underrated offensive line. You know, they don't get a lot of accolades for being a big, tough, physical group, but they play so well as a unit. And they try and get up there, stick a man on a man. They get to the second level. And these backs are excellent at reading the blocks and exploding through the hole.
Rob Beard puts it through. Oregon has run 9 plays and gained 141 yards. And they have 2 touchdowns. Are we surprised? Now an incredibly full day of college football in the Pac-12 conference. Oregon out here 14-3. Fresno State had a terrific first drive, punctuated, well, not punctuated actually, but catalyst was a fake punt, beautifully run. They were held to 3 points, and Oregon is quickly, as they always do, struck for 2 scores. And the return man is struck down at the 10-yard line. Fresno's put somebody in a jersey that normally is worn by the kicker, so I apologize that we don't know who that person is. But the full day of Pac-12 college football will continue tonight. Ranked teams in action. It's a big night for Rich Rodriguez in Arizona. Can they take down a visiting ranked Oklahoma State team? And Stanford will try to improve on its opening week play. They'll let Duke. And it's tonight, 7:30. Check the local listings for the game in your area. Of course, that's significant for Stanford because next week they host USC in the first big conference matchup of the year. Fresno State pinned deep, but that's a good first play. Rouse gets out for 9 before Dion Jordan drops him.
That's a nice run. You know, Fresno State, they have to settle down. They pull their right guard, Richard Helapico. Does a good job getting up there on the running back. And now they're faced with a 2nd and short. That's a down that they want to see. Short yardage on 2nd down.
Robbie Rouse, maybe by halftime, is going to wind up becoming the all-time Fresno State leader in carries. And sometime in the next week or two, he's going to become the all-time yardage rushing leader in school history.
This is a school that has a great tradition of 1,000-yard rushers. Of course, their most recent one being Ryan Matthews, who had an excellent year, 1,800 yards.
Rouse runs for a first down, but this time Wade Likipi. There you see where Rouse stands on the active list. You know, I think a lot of us, like me, would not have realized that Denard Robinson is that high.
He's pretty good at running the ball up there in Michigan.
So now Fresno State empties. They put Rouse out wide. Trying to see if they can create a mismatch. And that ball juggled and dropped. Isaiah Burse intended.
That was Eric Dargan, the strong safety, number 4. Was able to hit Burse before he could bring down the pass.
Fresno State needs 11. Carr in trouble. Carr can't get away, and there's Dion Jordan. What a first quarter. It's already 5 tackles and a sack.
Well, that was all about his motor and his intent, because initially he comes off of the right side there and he just keeps on coming. Finally is able to get to Derek Carr, and that's what Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator, said when he talked about Dion Jordan, is the fact that his motor is one speed. He's a heat-seeking missile out there, and if he could have 11 Dion Jordans on the field, they would be one of the best defenses in history of college football.
Well, that was I'm not sure where that runs on the gamut between bravery and foolishness. To Anthony Thomas, as important as he is, and there's Josh Huff, who's down on the play. Thomas leaping up to catch that high bounce right in the middle of opposing players. Thomas was okay, but Huff is not. Now again, as Yogi Roth so accurately pointed out, there's not a lot of focus on the Oregon defense, but it has some talent. Chip Kelly talked to us about Dion Jordan.
Just really proud of Dion, where he came from, and the success he's had not only on the football field but in the classroom. Came in here as a skinny wide receiver and now is potentially an All-American player on the defensive side of the ball for us. Has grown into being one of our best leaders. Very vocal leader, but also a great leader by example. Young players gravitate to him. He does a great job of mentoring young kids and making sure that he takes care of them. Really excited for what he's put in to kind of see where this thing takes it, because I don't know if we've had a harder worker than Dion.
That's a great compliment. You get the idea that Chip Kelly likes to talk about his defense because obviously he's asked all the time, and the focus here is always on the offense.
Well, I feel like this defense is one of the best defenses they've had around here in years. They're deep, and when you watch them on tape, it's evident. They don't just have athletes on the offensive side of the ball, but the guys on the defensive side of the ball can run like the wind, and they play aggressive, they play fast, they have a lot of fun, and they have stars at every level of the defense. When you think about Dion Jordan, think about Michael Clay, you think about John Boyette, the free safety for the Ducks. So a lot of playmakers and a lot of depth for the defensive side of the ball.
And they've got depth, a lot of talented receivers, and that depth will be put to work here as Huff goes down on this block.
Well, it's really hard to see if anything really happened there. You can see he grabs his left knee as he falls down, but there wasn't a tremendous amount of contact right there.
Huff through a fine block. Set up to Anthony Thomas's touchdown run, and now blocking on punt return. He ends up suffering an injury. Now Oregon to work, 41-yard line drive start. Middle screen thrown high and off Barner's hand.
Pass intended for Barner, incomplete.
So far, Oregon has run 10 plays, 8 run, 2 pass. And averaging only 14 yards a play. Now Fresno going to track down. There's good pursuit on the defense, and that's one of the men, Donovan Lewis. And in a 3-4, when you switch, there's always a guy like this, Lewis, who was playing with his hand down. Now he's playing up.
Yeah, he's really climbed the chart as camp has went on. You mentioned, converting from defensive end, and that's the pursuit that you want to have. And Nick Toth, the defensive coordinator, like all defensive coordinators, said that when we turn on the film, we got to see our guys flying around. We got to have that attitude, like we're going out there to make something happen.
So now it's a long third coming up for Oregon. A spot they're in a lot. That ball is caught and then dropped, incomplete. Is the ruling as Barner got hit by Sean Alston. And mark this, as we have a player down, and that is Donovan Lewis. A play after his excellent tackle. Donovan Lewis is hurt for Fresno State. And mark this down because it doesn't happen often. 3 and out for Oregon. We're checking the record books.
Especially in the first quarter. Not a lot of passes. They opened up the game last week against Arkansas State and really kind of threw the ball downfield. They used Mariota in the passing game. But so far today, keeping it on the ground and not really able to generate much through the air today so far. Fresno State, you can see, doing a good job in coverage downfield and not allowing a lot of windows to throw into.
So Josh Huff of Oregon going down, and a few plays ago, and now it's Donovan Lewis. Fresno State brought 66 players on this trip, and they, coaches, again, it's an entirely new staff. They freely admit that depth is more of an issue for them as they try to rebound from a 4-9 season. So losing a player, losing a frontline guy, going to hurt and be felt much more by the Bulldogs.
especially when you're going up against an offense like this on the defensive side of the ball where they try and sub in to try and take the pressure off of the conditioning. And that's kind of where it starts to affect your football team, when guys have to play more snaps than they're accustomed to playing in a pretty tough environment.
Jackson Rice punts the ball out of bounds. And it'll be marked out near the 30-yard line. Tim DeRuyter, after a long tenure of Pat Hill, Tim DeRuyter becoming the head coach, his first head coaching job. Played at the Air Force Academy. Inherits an outstanding senior runner. And a good quarterback. Getting preseason honors as Fresno State is now in the Mountain West. And you see it was Jim Sweeney, and a lot of the great quarterback tradition came under Jim Sweeney's watch at Fresno State. And then Pat Hill, who's now with the Atlanta Falcons. Cross is caught for a short gain. Tim DeRuyter and much of his staff came. Tim DeRuyter's last stop had been at Texas A&M. He went down there to work for Mike Sherman.
When he talked about when he came in here, a lot of the kids, a lot of the people around Fresno State weren't happy because they loved Pat Hill. They were recruited by Pat Hill. He brought them in there. And slowly but surely, he said, look, we're going to embrace our past. We're going to embrace that legacy, but we're going to do things a little bit differently. And slowly but surely, guys started to buy in, and they're liking what he's doing here at Fresno State.
Well, Carr throws that. Well, let's see. That's going to be marked very close to a first down. Josh Harper on the catch. See his knee may, we're going to rule his knee touched the turf. And it looks to be just a touch. Well, let's see. It looks. See, Sam Polis is much better eyesight than I do. I thought it was a touch short. Sam's up here signaling first down. You would think I would know by now. 39-yard line for Fresno State.
The ruling on the previous play is the first down. The play is under further review.
All right, now the booth has decided to review this one as well, off the spot where Harper's knee touched. That's the point. That's the end of the play. I believe he was ruled to have touched his knee.
It looked like the knee was down when he got possession of the football.
So if there's a review, it will be that. Where should the ball be spotted there? Because his knee down.
Like maybe the 48.5.
I'm one and only concerned about this, Adam, is the reviews and the review system is all for the better. The frequency of
the review, the ruling on the field stands. Play is caught. First down is made. First down, Fresno State.
My point was simply you want to make sure you keep the spectators in person here. Keep them engaged.
Well, absolutely.
Stopping the play all the time.
It's also important. You got to get the calls right. And there's nothing worse, whether you're in a game or watching a game, when the officials don't take the time, they don't get the call right, and now we're worried about legislating the game instead of the action taking care of itself.
All right, so now Fresno State back to this set they've used quite a bit here. Empty backfield for Carr. This time 3 receivers left. And that one should have been picked. Right in the hands of Isaac Remington.
Well, it was a zone pressure. They bring both linebackers from the outside, and Remington drops perfectly right in the zone. Derek Carr didn't see him.
That's a great angle. It's a little tougher catch than it looked.
And that was great execution by the Oregon defense running the zone pressure.
And there's another one. Wow. This has been Kiko Alonso frustrated, and this is what a defense wants to be known as. They can take the ball away, and 2 in a row that have escaped.
Well, he drops.
Oh my goodness.
Perfectly in coverage. That's exactly how you play it. Not a good pass by Derek Carr. I think maybe he thought his wide receiver was going to break that route short.
Oh, a nice bit of eluding, and that's going to be very close to a first down, but the ball came free. Anthony Riggins getting a chance to play. A sophomore. And there's a little, just a brief extracurricular. And ruling on the field is that it's recovered by Fresno State, but because of the ball coming free, they actually lost a couple of yards. They were very close to the first down.
Down to be 4.
Now it's going to be 4th down and about 2.
A nice job on the in cut. Derek Carr putting it right there, but breaking tackles and trying to get upfield. That was a nice stick. Couldn't quite see and get a read on who that was. But a nice stick right there to get the ball free.
That's Ifo Ekpe-Olumu.
He forced a fumble last week against Arkansas State early in the first quarter.
And Adam, you're right, that hit cost Fresno State because that was very close to a first down. Instead, now 4th down and 2. Shapiro runs to his left, punts the ball, and once again will not be able to be fielded by Thomas. And instead, Oregon will start back at its 15-yard line here with just over a minute to play in the first quarter. Oregon will have another home game next week against Tennessee Tech. That'll wrap up their non-conference. Oregon does not play a game on another school's campus until October 18th.
Not a bad way.
When they play at Tempe.
Not a bad way to start out your young freshman at quarterback in the friendly confines of Autzen Stadium.
Mariota handing it off, and Barner finds nice hole. And he's out almost to the 24-yard line. Oregon will play Washington State September 29, but they'll play them in the Seattle Seahawks Stadium. Barner, ooh, and there's nice penetration by Jennings. Andy Jennings off the defensive side for Fresno. That'll make it 3rd down. Yogi Roth?
Yeah, when you watch Kenjon Barner, he's got such patience at the line of scrimmage, and in this zone scheme, he has to do that. He said he doesn't read the defensive lineman, he actually reads the linebackers when he's making his cuts. Also, fellas, Josh Huff, he is out. Most likely he's in the locker room getting evaluated on his left knee.
Every time something happens to stop the game, when Oregon has the ball, you hear the entire stadium boos. That's what's going on here. The officials are having discussions.
Play clock is not operating. Play time will be kept on the field.
Okay. So that was what it was. The play clock was the issue, and now there's that little sliver of red down there just behind where Oregon's operating. The color contrast is really pretty. Barner coming outside. And Barner using every bit of the width of the field. And he's got a first down.
I think Kenjon Barner is such an underrated running back. He really has an exceptional skill set. And it's pretty easy. That's a big hole right there. All he has to do is use his speed to get to the outside.
And driving, he's going to be stopped short of a first down. Darrell Hawkins, his first catch. Now, normally you'd say end of the quarter, but not with Oregon. They're going to get up here and run at least one more play. Assuming that they get the ball down in time. And Mariota makes sure he gets the play off. And he's going to run and come close. Going to be just shy of a first down. Sean Alston on the stop for Fresno State. So that will get us to the end of the first quarter. Explosive run by DeAnthony Thomas, and Oregon up 14-3. Week 2 of the season, Oregon out 14-3 at the end of the first quarter on this brilliant Saturday afternoon. Here are the Bank of the West Pac-12 players for Week 1. And Jonathan Franklin back to help bolster UCLA in its new era of football. Great start for him at Rice, Adam.
A lot of big runs in that game.
That was a third down and 1 play for Oregon to start the quarter, and Barner gets just enough to keep the drive going. So first quarter for Oregon dramatically different. Last week they came out throwing. Today running. Mariota keeps for a short gain. Tristan Palugo.
I think when you look at Fresno State in that first quarter, at least offensively for the most part, they didn't come away with a lot of points, but they kind of sustained some drives and chewed some time off of the clock. They averaged about 4.5 yards per play, and that's allowed the Oregon offense to kind of stay off the field a lot.
Mariota changing on second down. Oh, right in his face. And did they get the face mask? No flag coming down. And again, that's the same man, Tristan Opalaugo.
In the tackle box.
He's a senior from Livermore, California, in the Bay Area.
Right.
Yeah, got him by the shoulder pad.
Right off of the edge. That was Mariota was trying to get the ball out hot to Kenjon Barner, but he didn't have a chance to avoid the rush.
Quick ball just to get it. And there's a flag getting it into the hands of Thomas, and that may be a mask. Just a quick hit to get DeAnthony Thomas the ball.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
L.J. Jones.
Well, the stiff arm from DeAnthony Thomas was just nasty right there.
Barner, that one came close. That had the look. Once he got to the second level, he may go. He does get a first down.
Well, I think you notice with these backs is they're so quick at getting to the second level. They just explode through the line of scrimmage.
The other thing that confronts the Oregon tempo is that on first down plays, moving the sticks. And you can see there, they actually, an official marked the spot as the chains had not been put in place yet when Oregon snapped the ball. Barner's getting to work. He's got 11 carries so far. 98 yards. Mariota throwing that seam right up there toward the post, and it's incomplete. Trying to hit Keenan Lowe.
This offense is deadly in the red zone with their play action pass, trying to hit Lowe across the middle. And Davon Dunn doing a nice job in coverage man to man on Keenan Lowe, and wasn't really anywhere for Mariota to put the ball.
3rd and 3. Fake to Barner, quick shot, and they get the tight end, Colt Laierla, touchdown.
Well, Colt Laierla, he can be as good as he wants to be. He's a good-looking football player. Breaks the tackle right there of Deron Smith, the safety for the Bulldogs, and powers his way to the end zone. In this day and age in college football, the big athletic tight end is such a weapon. And he's taken over for a guy in David Paulson, who made a lot of plays for this offense last season.
So the extra point through, and this time Mariota, his 4th completion of the day, 22 yards, and a touchdown to Laierla. Plays, 85 yards. Barner carried on 6 of the plays. The result, another score, 21-3. Maldonado gets this ball muffed at the 5-yard line. And only out to the 14-yard line. Good special teams cover by Oregon's Tyson Coleman. Now let's go down to Yogi Roth and find out more about this great atmosphere at Eugene. Yogi?
Yeah, here with Athletic Director Rob Mullins. Rob, what do the Pac-12 networks mean to Oregon?
Well, we're extremely excited to get the news last night that Dish Network has joined the family, and for us that's a wonderful development because so many Duck fans have Dish Network, loyal Ducks, loyal to Dish, and so we're excited to have them on board. The networks mean so much. It's great exposure not only for our university but for our student athletes. With every football game being on nationally, it provides tremendous exposure, helps in recruiting, and in addition to that, all these other great live events for all of our student athletes, whether they're Olympic sports or female student athletes. So finally, great exposure for all that happens in the Pac-12.
What's it like to come here on Saturday and see the culture at Austin?
Well, it's one of the best atmospheres in all of sports. It's fantastic. Everyone's dressed in the colors, lightning yellow today. Everyone's into the game, excited about the offense, and just loving the Ducks.
All right, back up to you guys. A lot of excitement down here on the sideline.
All right, Yogi. Lightning yellow, I like that. Pass that'll be short of a first down, coming to Rouse out of the backfield. Of course, one of Oregon's proudest alums and responsible for much of the change in uniforms, Phil Knight, who was last night inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
How about that? And it's such a big deal. Big reason why they're able to recruit is the kids love the uniforms and the color combinations.
All right, Carr faked a roll. Now they run a counter, and that's going to be a first down gain. So well executed play there by Fresno State, and Robbie Rouse gets the first down. Tony Washington on the tackle for Oregon. Robbie Rouse.
Well, this is a slick little play design. They faked the sprint out with Derek Carr taking advantage of the pursuit from the linebackers, and Rouse is able to cut back across the grain for a big gain.
Rouse carries again. Robbie Rouse started the day 194 yards shy of becoming Fresno State's all-time career rushing leader, and the coaches cringed last night at him when we asked him. Robbie Rouse has fumbled once in his career at Fresno. Once.
I didn't want you to jinx him. That's unbelievable. So dependable to have that many carries, that many yards, and only put it on the turf one time. Excellent.
So Derek Carr now in the gun on second down. He dumped it over the middle, but errant. Milton Knox, the intended receiver, and now Fresno State will have a longer third. They need 7.
And this is the down and distant that Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator for the Ducks, said, when we get him in this position, we have to get after the quarterback, look for pressure.
Oregon showing 6 up at the line. 4 come. And Carr's pass incomplete. Brian Jackson defending. Marcel Jensen intended.
A nice job of the defense disguising the blitz, making Derek Carr think that they were coming off of the right side, and then Michael Clay, the middle linebacker, dropping off into coverage. Good job confusing the quarterback and now not allowing him to make a pre-snap decision.
So Shapiro gets his punt away. And Thomas, there's good cover there by Fresno State. 36 yards on the net. That's a very nice job by Philip Thomas, one of the veterans. Terrific safety for Fresno State. Next Saturday, right here at Autzen Stadium, Tennessee Tech will visit. You'll see it at noon right here on Pac-12 Networks. Last year, Oregon played LSU in its first game of the season, lost that game, and as a result, they had to play uphill in terms of the national picture for the rest of the year. Mariota goes down. This year, 3 non-conference home games, but Chip Kelly was telling us Kansas State dropped them. Oregon had signed to play Kansas State home and home. Kansas State decided not to do that. They do have a series signed with Texas A&M coming up.
He wants to play the big schools. He likes the challenge. He wants Oregon to be in those marquee games. Yeah. But this year they couldn't find anybody to fill the schedule once they got dropped.
Throwing a deep ball, and in the jump ball, it is caught. Is it ruled a catch? Officials are going to confer, and it is. Will Murphy.
Well, Will Murphy, this is great coverage right there. He comes up, goes and high points the football.
Will Murphy's just up the road, just north of here in Albany. It's actually close to Corvallis. But that's going to make him feel good, make his family feel good.
Ruling on the previous play.
They're going to review this, and I'm certain it's because of where the ball ends up pinned against his hip.
I think the question is if he had control of it the entire time. You see it squirts out and hits the turf once he hits the ground.
Let's see, does the ball hit the turf? Yeah, the question, I think, eventually at the end there, it does. By that time he was down. The question, I guess, was he out of bounds by then?
Well, that's a close call.
Well, I'll tell you what, Adam, I say this now just about every week. I'll say it to you, too. I no longer have any understanding of what is a catch.
I don't either. There's been so much to be said on what the process of the catch is supposed to be. And there hasn't been a very good example, at least in the NFL and in college football. It's very confusing, very ambiguous on what a catch is.
Well, it's a big game. This is an important decision in the first half of this game. Oregon runs those receivers we mentioned. They run a lot of them out there. Josh Huff has been out of this game after being hurt in the first quarter. But Oregon played 77 men last week, and I assume they'll play just as many this week. Jay Stricker's there. Brad Robinson, the back judge, alongside.
This one's pretty close. I think this one can go 50-50. I mean, I'm not sure if there's a right call in this situation. The question is, does he have control when he has control? And of course, the ball comes out.
The receiver did not control the ball until he was out of bounds. The pass is incomplete. Oregon ball, 3rd down and 12 on the 29-yard line.
All right, so Murphy's acrobatics are erased.
Well, I'll tell you what, great job by Murphy to go up, get the ball. And it was great coverage by L.J. Jones, the quarterback. It was 2 guys fighting for the football. Jones in great position, and Murphy almost coming down with a spectacular catch.
So now the Ducks have to retreat, and they'll face a long third.
This is a big third down coming up for both teams, really, especially for Fresno State.
The down is 3rd and 12.
Okay, lots of conferencing, trying to get the chains straight.
They're down 12 at the Oregon 31.
A lot of breaks in the action today, Ted.
Boy. Well, the review situation is disrupting Oregon's rhythm more than anything else. And look at that burst for a first down. DeAnthony Thomas.
Well, the Bulldogs, they stunt right into that run. Run the perfect run blitz, and DeAnthony Thomas finds a way to split it.
And that's a great call, Adam, because that's, you know, a guy of Thomas's size. You think he's not going to be able to run interior like that.
Well, the great ones, they have a knack. They can do it all. He just feels it. Doesn't always know exactly why he's doing things, but watch the stunt right here. And he's able to score it up in there. Number 98, Andy Jennings, has a chance to bring him down.
And this time Thomas can't get outside. Well, that young man's getting active here for Fresno State. Tristan Opalaugo. And he's got that size that a lot of people look for in these 3-4 defenses, doesn't he, Adam?
And he does a good job keeping the edge out there. When we talked to Nick Toth, the defensive coordinator, he said Oregon attacks the edges. They attack the perimeter in the run game so well. But we have to be good with our outside linebackers to make sure we set that edge and turn them back into all our help.
Oregon 4 out of 6 on thirds. They've had a few more long thirds as this half has gone along. And not able to get to the first down stick there is Braylon Addison, freshman receiver from Missouri City, Texas, and so Oregon will have to punt it.
And a nice job downfield in coverage for the Bulldogs. They did a nice job up front, collapsing the pocket. Mariota showing some elusiveness.
Well, like they don't have to punt. And they may score. Thomas gets down the sideline. DeAnthony Thomas on 4th down. 51 yards.
Well, I don't know what to say. Watch this run, the tackles that he breaks. We talked about it earlier, how he doesn't seem to get touched. But it doesn't matter. 3 or 4 tackles on that run. He finds a way to get to the outside, and he can simply do it all. Not just an open field runner, but the toughness and the strength to stay up and just find another way to get to the end zone. Unbelievable.
Fresno State jumping on the PAT.
Offside defense, unabated to the kicker. After this is the goal. Try to be attempted from the 1.5.
The word has become a little more common, but it does fit. DeAnthony Thomas is special.
I'm so glad I don't have to play against that guy. I'm so happy.
After the penalty, the kick through. DeAnthony Thomas, 5 carries for 100 yards, and that's his 2nd touchdown today. Plays. DeAnthony Thomas. Touchdowns last week, 2 more in the first half. Today, this is going to be Isaiah Burse. And what D'Anthony Thomas does, Adam, you make a great point here. I mean, he's breaking. This is not just speed.
You usually see him outside on the edge, out racing everybody. The offensive line doing a good job. Hronis Grasu, Ryan Clant, Nick Cody stretching the defense. And once D'Anthony Thomas sees the hole, he explodes. And the strength to break 3 or 4 tackles, find his way to the right sideline, and again find the end zone is just, it's unbelievable. There's not many football players that I've seen that have that type of ability to consistently break the game open and find the end zone.
And that's the great point, as Fresno State has its best drive start here, 30-yard line. And good defensive smother on Rouse. But that's what D'Anthony Thomas is forcing you to do, to play the game we often do. There's a flag down here. The comparison game. Who does he remind you of?
The best guy that he reminds me of is the NFL, Devin Hester. I mean, he's...
Yeah, it's a good call. You see the runs today by Oregon.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
All right, Yogi, how about you? Who does he remind you of?
Oh, it's no question, fellas. It's Reggie Bush. And I had a chance to coach him at USC. And he's got that speed, elusiveness, and game breaker speed. Every time he touches the ball, you stand up and say, oh, boy, he's gone. He's gone. I mean, he has that ability.
And I'll tell you my contribution after this play, after the 15-yard face mask. Inside running into Rouse for 5. And the point Yogi just made, what I thought when I've watched Thomas on tape, it's the first time I've seen him live, the quality you said, can score every time he touches the ball, reminds me of Rocket Ismail. Going back 20 years ago now, but at Notre Dame, that was the kind of player he was every time he touched the ball.
Great call. And all those players have one thing in common. You hold your breath, and when they don't score, you're almost mad and you're almost disappointed.
And Fresno State now with Derek Carr, 9 of 16 throwing. Puts that out high and incomplete. Would you say, Adams, Oregon getting some pretty good pressure on Carr in this first half?
Boseko Akumbo off of the right side there, working on the left tackle. Austin Wentworth. And Derek Carr doesn't have a chance to set up and throw the ball. Right now the defense is starting to attack. They're starting to get after the quarterback.
And now Fresno State backed into a 3rd and 6, and you saw that third downs have been tough for the Bulldogs. Carr changing at the line.
Nobody in a 3-point stance for the Ducks.
And a high throw incomplete. So Fresno State, first drive of this game was on offense very good. They had 4 plays of 12+ yards. And their offense has hit a wall as Dave Schramm, the coordinator, now visits with Carr. Offense has hit a wall since then. And Shapiro had the well-executed fake punt run for a first down on that drive. Oh, he gets a good bounce there, and that one, we've got to pin Oregon back. And it's 2-yard line. Well, good first half for Shapiro. That's a 49-yarder that dies at the 2.
It's a great job by the special teams. And now Oregon, who we've seen time and time again over the last 3 years with the big play ability. I guess the best thing to do as a defense is try and get them to go 98, 99 yards. And hopefully they make a mistake.
Well, it hasn't been a big stat half for Marcus Mariota in game 2, not like his start last week. But it's been Kenjon Barner and D'Anthony Thomas who had big first halves. A lot of work on the ground by Oregon.
That's dangerous. In his own end zone, Sean Plummer, the outside linebacker, has a chance to keep the edge. But Barner showing the speed.
200-yard runners in the first half.
It's not bad.
No. Not
bad at all.
Barner swarmed over there. And it's interesting because we had a chance to visit with Marcus Mariota, and that's how he said his name is pronounced Mariota. He went to the same high school in Honolulu as Timmy Chang. And when he was growing up, he's Timmy Chang and Colt Brennan, who were both quarterbacks in the great June Jones offenses at Hawaii, and they put up extraordinary numbers.
And he idolized Jeremiah Masoli. He went to St. Louis High School. Made a lot of plays for this offense a few years ago.
A screen, and there's a lot of room for Barner. Finally an angle and ran him out. There is a flag way back where the screen play first started. That means it may get brought back. I wonder if they're wondering if the linemen were downfield. It was a 40-yard play.
Personal foul, tripping on the offense, number 55. Penalties enforced, half innocence in the goal, still third down.
Well, caught Grasu, the center, tripping.
We'll see 55 right there in the middle. He gets out for the screen to try and spring Barner, and he tries to go down and cut block, and they get him because of the kind of a leg whip where he kind of turned around and tried to use the lower leg to get the block.
So Oregon has marched back now to its 5-yard line on third down. Ooh, and DeAnthony Thomas can't hang on. Took a good hit there.
Pass incomplete.
Nice stick by Kyrie Wilson.
Kind of a funny ball right there for Mariota. Floats up in the air. Not a very good spiral. Fresno State doing a good job getting off the field, helped out by the penalty that took away the big play by Barner. And now they should have a pretty good chance to get the ball in good field position.
So Jackson Rice will be punting it from the end zone. Not a very good kick. Whoa, it takes a little skip backwards to benefit Fresno State, and that's not a good special teams moment for Oregon. So Fresno State going to start the drive inside the Oregon 35.
And that's great shape. Now the question for them, they've been down tight before the first drive of the game, and they only were able to get 3 points. The question for them is, can they find a way to get a touchdown, get something going on offense?
We're winding now in the final 5 minutes of the half. A great chance for Fresno State to get a touchdown, to get something positive happening again on offense. Carr 9 of 18, 76 yards. They're trying to establish Rouse, and Adam, it looks like Oregon's done a good job defending him.
The front has been outstanding, not only in closing up the running lanes, but doing a good job getting pressure on Derek Carr today. Very difficult to move the ball when that defensive front is playing so well.
So that puts Carr back to the air. And a good tackle. No missed tackle there by Avery Patterson of Oregon out in the flat. So that's just a short gain on this throw to Rouse.
That's a great tackle. Kiko Alonso up the middle, puts pressure on Derek Carr. And if you want to play good defense, you have to do a couple things. You have to run to the football, and you have to be able to tackle. You can't allow yards after the catch.
Fresno State's only converted 1/3 in 8 tries.
Watch pressure from Michael Clay and Kiko Alonso up the middle.
Oh, here they come, bringing everybody. And that ball out for grabs and goes out of bounds, intended for Victor Dean. And that was all hands on deck blitz.
Zero coverage. They brought everybody, no help on the inside. And they got the matchup that they wanted. Derek Carr saw the coverage outside, but he couldn't put the ball where it needed to be.
So Fresno State is going to line up. It would be a 50-plus field goal. We're going to line up here and go. 4th and 9.
Again, watch the front. Nobody's in a three-point stand, moving around, trying to cause confusion.
That's what this is, just to confuse Carr. And then actually Carr quick kicks it. And that's going to get down inside the 5. All right, so there's a little different wrinkle again, something you no longer see much of. And Derek Carr executes it well.
Ball is set at the 2-yard line.
Pressed here. They announced that final score here a short while ago, and the crowd cheered. Not used to that with the in-state rivalries often. But here they all cheered the Beavers win.
That's shocking, but what a great win. I mean, that's
a terrific way for Mike Riley to start.
Big time.
All right, so Oregon backed up starting from its 2-yard line. Second straight possession they've been trapped. Fresno State's not yet been able to take advantage of this field position switch. Barner's 14th carry of the first half. So the run-pass mix totally different this week. Oregon has run 26 and passed 11. They'll run again this time. Fresno State's front stops. Tyler Davison. Some help from Kyrie Wilson. There's Wilson from Bakersfield. So now Oregon has 3rd down.
That's a nice job at the point of attack. Get in the running lane. Don't allow any momentum and make sure that you tackle well.
Ducks need 7. Mariota going to get trapped, and he got out of the shadow of his goal line and then dumps it out for a 1st down. That, I think, Adam, I'm sure you and Yogi both, that's what you, when you watch, it's Hawkins on the catch. When you watched Mariota last week, this is what impresses you.
Oh, this is sweet. Watch him, and it's like he's got eyes in the back of his head, reminiscent of some Michael Vick action at Virginia Tech.
He had not reached the line of scrimmage, so it was a legal forward pass. There's another one to Dwayne Stanford, and Tristan Opalaugo has been a real good defender for Fresno State in his first half, but he's going to have nightmares. He had a clean shot of Mariota. Another ball to the sideline to Stanford. So that play, that 3rd down escape, how huge is that? That changes the entire shape of these final 2 minutes and change.
Oh, it's critical because you had a chance to stop Oregon down deep in their territory. Again, setting up your offense with pretty good field position. But now, at this part of the field, anything can happen.
And again, Mariota has an outlet man. And coming to the near sideline and getting out to stop the clock is Barner. So it's been an interesting half to see Barner. 15 runs and 3 receptions.
Getting a lot of work, and the thing about Mariota is the fact that young freshman, the game's not too big for him, and when he gets in trouble, he doesn't take a sack and he doesn't necessarily run the ball, but he finds the outlet receiver.
Here he goes. And a good trip up, otherwise he might have gone. Darren Smith. And Mariota.
A great job reading the defensive end. He crashes down on Kenjon Barner. Nobody left to tackle Mariota. And if Nick Toth said this quarterback, he can go 60, not just 8.
And Nick Toth on the Fresno State side, their D coordinator, they just took a timeout, a defensive timeout. And while the teams pause for a moment, we'll take a look at our Coors Light freeze cam. Great play here by Colt Laierla.
Yeah, Colt Laierla, he breaks the tackle, trying to rumble to the end zone. The extension, getting the ball over the goal line, showing the athleticism. And if he develops and becomes a tight end, that all his great physical tools can make him be, he's going to be a great weapon for years to come here.
You look around, Adam, and in the last couple of years, Stanford probably has been the #1 example of taking big-bodied, athletic tight ends and showing how versatile and how important they can be to an offense.
Yeah, last year they had 3 tight ends combined for 86 catches. Of course, Kobe Fleener, the headliner.
And there's a first down throw. Going to bring the ball down to the 26-yard line. That's Rasan Vaughn. So now at the 26-yard line. So just a second ago, it seemed like Mariota was being trapped around his own goal line. And now Oregon is in scoring position. That's going to be out of bounds. Of course, I really should rephrase that, shouldn't I? Is there ever a snap on the field where Oregon is not in scoring position?
I don't think so. Yeah. Any play has a chance with this team.
Well, at least
I told you, D'Anthony Thomas, when he doesn't score, people get mad.
Yeah. Cracked a little bit of a smile there. And Barner almost got in.
Well, the hole that he had to run through was just, you can drive any vehicle that you want.
And Barner spins in. So fitting that he has had a workhorse first half, but Kenjon Barner hits the touchdown. And that is one. You talk about a 98-yard drive here. That's one play was the entire difference. It was Mariota's third down escape.
Yeah, that's all it was. A great opportunity to Fresno State to potentially force a punt, give the offense some field position and a chance to score. Instead, you let Oregon keep the ball and they drive downfield, put another touchdown on the board before half. The game it's a game of inches. And when you have a chance against a team like this, you have to make every single opportunity.
Fresno State is again offside.
Offside on the defense by contact. Penalties declined.
That's twice on a PAT today. Offsides.
And that young man will be very happy someday. That Dad's saving him.
Getting him ready.
High decibels. 35-3 now. Kenjon Barner with 132 yards rushing in the first half. And 2 touchdowns. There's the Oregon drive. And just do the math yourself there, folks. You can look at it. It was 11 plays, 2 minutes and 24 seconds. I'll tell you one thing. You talk about a physical fitness test. To be the mascot at Oregon,
who is that mascot?
Be in shape.
I don't know. We might have to. I don't know if he was going all the way down on those. I think he might be cheating us a little bit.
$35-3. It's Isaiah Burse on the run back for Fresno State. He comes out to the 25-yard line. All right, well, coming up on our Dr. Pepper halftime report on this hectic day of Pac-12 football. A review from the studio on Oregon State's win. USC playing Syracuse at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. And, of course, first half wrap-up from Eugene. Look ahead tonight. Coming up on Pac-12 networks, Oklahoma State at Arizona, and also Duke at Stanford. Robbie Rouse has also been a workhorse, just like Barner for Oregon. Robbie Rouse has had 13 carries now and 4 receptions. But the 13 carries for Rouse, Oregon is limited, 42 running yards.
Yeah, they've done a nice job in really all facets of the game defensively.
And Carr, boy, Davante Adams just dragged all the way across the field. And Carr finally drilled him as he to the far side.
Adams. Gain of 8. That'll be a first down for Fresno State.
One of the few times that Derek Carr had any time to let things develop.
Comes back to Adams again. And Adams going to run it out of bounds just across midfield. Davante Adams from Palo Alto, California, went to high school right across the street from Stanford Stadium. A school that's produced an awful lot of very good football players through the years.
Had a big week last week against Weaver State. 118 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Carr in trouble, gets rid of it. Tyson Coleman on the mix.
Trying to set up the screen. Tyson Coleman. You see Robbie Rouse set up to block him and tried to slip out, but Coleman with too much pressure. Carr wasn't able to get the ball out.
Oregon really spreading that defensive front. And Robbie Rouse made a nice move inside, and he's going to get a first down out of this. So that'll give Fresno time to get to the line. 10 seconds in the half. And in fact, Fresno's going to take a timeout here, as they are they've got a shot now at the 37-yard line.
30 seconds, timeout.
Oh, Tim DeRuyter and his staff at Fresno State. One thing, they inherited a real good quarterback. They inherited this man, Robbie Rouse, for one more year.
You're seeing a concerted effort in this last drive to get the ball in Robbie Rouse's hands, because he's really their only chance of sustaining anything offensively today. But the Ducks doing a good job wrapping up this offense outside of that fake punt that allowed Fresno State to extend that very first drive of the game, which led to the 3 points. Defensively, it's been a good performance.
And Fresno State's challenge, and we'll get into it more in the second half, this year will be improving their defense. That was their weak spot last year in a 4-9 season. Now they have a chance to try and score before the half. And this will get them at least into field goal range as Davante Adams takes it to the 26. And now they've got to choose, kick it or take one shot at the end zone.
Really a nice adjustment from Davante Adams. That pass behind him, he reaches back with his left arm, snatches it with one hand. Now you got a shot to maybe put 3 more points on the board.
So Quentin Brashears, just the second game kicking in his career, made one 39-yarder last week, made one in this first half.
Timeout, Oregon. Timeout number 1. 30 seconds, timeout.
30 seconds of icing going on here by Chip Kelly. Well, Derek Carr in the offseason gets together with his older brother David, and they break down. David Carr breaks down every game that Derek Carr has played at Fresno. They break down the tape, they go through it together, and that's really the tutelage that Derek Carr gets.
It's a great luxury.
I think David Carr has spent much of the second part of his pro career backing up Eli Manning in a couple of Super Bowls. That's not bad. 43 yards here by Quentin Brashears. Well, that's a nice note for Fresno State. First time kicker's been on the money in the first half. It's provided Fresno with their points, but it has not nearly been enough. You know, you stop and you think, what does a coach say? Like, what would Nick Toth say to his defense at halftime?
The main thing is just you have to continue to compete. And regardless of what the score is, regardless of what happened, it's all about going out there, giving it your best effort, winning the one-on-one battles, and finishing with the attitude and with the toughness that they've been trying to instill in this defense.
On a Saturday night, and Pac-12 Networks is your place. The State Farm post-game show. Mike Yam, Rick Neuheisel, Curtis Conway with all the scores, highlights, interviews, and analysis from around the Pac-12 tonight after the evening games. Oklahoma State and Arizona, a big night game tonight. Also Duke at Stanford. So Oregon running the ball, and Barner was out of bounds before the ball came free. Yogi Roth?
Yeah, it's so important that Marcus Mariota is getting these game snaps at quarterback. There's nothing like live action. I'm talking about changing protections, re-identifying the middle linebacker, all the little things that he has to do to run this offense, and you can't always get those reps simulated in practice. So this is great reps for him right now.
Now play fake here. He's dragged, and the ball punched away and covered by Fresno State. Well, there's a learning experience, because Sean Plummer, veteran linebacker for Fresno, wrapped up Mariota, but before he threw him to the ground, he literally punches the ball out of him.
Great heads-up play by Sean Plummer, and Mariota almost gets away from him. But you see, as he's wrapping it, he has the awareness with the right arm to go in there, punch the ball out. That's a great job of securing the tackle and then trying to make something happen. That's a big play, something that this defense desperately needed.
So Fresno State, first takeaway, and they have excellent field position here to try to get to the end zone. They've been down twice, settled for field goals. Carr escapes, and then he'll eat it. He was trying to see if he could float a ball down the sideline to his receiver. There's actually Robbie Rouse out there. So Carr's run gains 4. And it's caught. Well, Carr threw it up there, and Isaiah Burse ran it down near corner, touchdown Fresno State. And Carr took a big-time pop, and yeah, he took a big hit from Kiko Alonso.
Well, great job of Derek Carr. Watch Alonso coming right up the middle. And it didn't look like much, but he puts that ball right in there. Excellent coverage from the Oregon Ducks. And so far, you take a look at this Fresno State football team. They came out strong on defense, held Oregon, and now offensively, you're able to take the ball down the field and get a touchdown.
Well, that's right there. That's the big breath. The touchdown, way secondary, although Dave Schramm gives Carr a big hug to this. They've got to make sure Carr's healthy. So Carr to Burse gets Fresno State's first touchdown, and Oregon seems at him. They were trying to take advantage of Fresno sending everybody out in the patterns, leaving Carr empty in the backfield. And doesn't that tell you something about a quarterback? Carr stood in knowing he was going to get hammered. And delivers this ball to Burse. So Fresno State midway through the third, first touchdown. Derek Carr, has he shown you something, Adam? The way he stands in there today?
Well, he's gotten pounded, and Nick Aliotti is unleashing the dogs. He's brought a lot of pressure in this game today, and he sees Kiko Alonso zoning in on him, slides to his right, buys a little time, and puts the ball right where it needs to be.
There's Fresno State kicking it deep for the first time, and Braylon Addison will come from the goal line. Fresno covers the kick well. Edison does not make the 20-yard line. Kristen Wilson, safety, was down first for Fresno State. Let's see what the penalty is.
During the return, illegal block on the back on the return team, number 33. Penalties enforced half the distance to the goal, first down.
Right, so Oregon going to have to get it back from inside their 10-yard line.
Well, Ted, the defense came to play coming out of that third quarter, or the halftime. And Sean Plummer with a big play, forcing a turnover. This defense last season, only 9 turnovers the entire season. That was worst in college football.
And now Fresno unleashing a little pressure on Mariota. He just got away from a goal line hit. Throws incomplete. So Fresno State taking advantage of the defensive play. Carr up moving around, which is a good sign for them. Well, another Pac-12 school. They'll have Colorado playing them next week in Fresno. Oh, another loose ball, and that's Fresno State's. Well, the same kind of plays that have worked so well for Oregon, just quick smoke passes to guys with speed and space. But it's a second Fresno State takeaway.
Nick talked about getting that mojo. The defenses that take the ball away have something about them, and when you're flying around to the ball, you're physical. And a word that he liked to use called population. That means as many guys to the football as possible, then good things are going to start to happen. 2 turnovers here in the last 2 series, and that's what they want to see out of this defense. Good job coming out of halftime, being down by so many points.
Big credit to Sean Alston. He was the forced fumble. He's the man that stripped it. So Carr back. And to the sideline gets Adams. Just inside the 10. At the 9. Well, this is what Chip Kelly, obviously on his side, they don't want to see, because Arkansas State put a bunch of points on the board in the second half last week. Oregon had a huge cushion.
And last week it was against the backups. Right now, the starters are in the game.
Second down. Rouse inside does not get the first. So this is where, even though the defense has been put in bad spots here because of the turnovers, here's where you'd like your defense to rise up here. Force, well, you don't know if they tick or not, but at least 4th or 4th down decision.
Well, it's a nice little piece of adversity, because this defense doesn't have a lot of situations so far in this game where they have to really stand up and do something and defend their goal line. So being put in a short field twice in a row is a nice test for Nick Aliotti's defense.
Rouse alongside Carr. Throws the fade for Adams. Broken up. Ifo Ekpreolumu.
A nice job by Ekpreolumu sticking with the coverage. Devontae Adams really probably should have came down with that ball. It's the second time today he had his hands on some ball he could have come down with.
Yeah, and actually Ifo defended well. He never did touch the ball. Adams did, and Fresno State will go on 4th. And that may be a first down. Let's see where the mark is. They could get a first, and I believe they did. And what a great job of extending the play by Carr. And he found Robbie Rouse, who gets a first down.
Nice job, Derek Carr. He's holding the ball. Dion Jordan closing in on him. And he finds Robbie Rouse right next to the sideline and sneaks the ball in there. Great job of making plays by the playmakers, Carr and Rouse.
From the 1, Rouse does not get in. Loses probably a yard. Michael Clay to lead that surge. Deion Jordan.
Robbie Rouse, good wide receiver out of the backfield. Concentration right there on the edge. Big play for Fresno State.
We can see how it's gone so far in this quarter. Can Fresno State get its second touchdown? No, Rouse is tripped up by Alonso. And that's a loss of 3.
They come out with a different looking formation and try and run the power. But Alonso in the backfield, penetrating. This group of linebackers for the Oregon Ducks are tremendously athletic.
So from 1st and goal at the 1, it is 3rd and goal at the 5. 3-man bunch left. Carr was looking there now. Oh, and Carr thought he could get out, and he couldn't. Taylor Hart.
Number 66 must leave the game for 1 down because his helmet came off through play.
45 sacks last season by this defensive line. They're so athletic up front. It looked like Carr was going to be able to sneak out of the pocket, but the effort by Taylor Hart to come back inside and end up clipping the ankle to force the field goal. Excellent goal line stand for this defense that was put in a bad situation.
Well, Brashears from 25 yards out kicks it through, but that is going to feel, I would think, Adam, like a loss for Fresno State and a win for Oregon.
Yeah, absolutely. You would have liked to see, especially having 1st and goal down there by the 1-yard line, that your offense would be able to punch it in. But credit the Oregon defense for knocking them back, being in a short field 2 series in a row, and standing up, making a goal line stand. That is something that is going to make Nick Eliotti, the defensive coordinator, very happy when they turn on the film tomorrow.
And so 10 points unanswered here by Fresno. 10 points created by Bulldog defensive plays. Takeaways. And it put a little different spin on this game.
There's a huge emphasis by Nick Toth, the defensive coordinator, trying to create a culture for this defense to fly around and make plays. Sean Plummer, the outside linebacker, forcing the fumble. Then the very next play or series for the Oregon Ducks, they give up the ball again in their own territory. So credit the Fresno State defense for coming out after halftime and getting after it.
Sean Plummer and Sean Alston forcing the fumbles. And now Oregon will get the ball and need to awaken. Their offense only 9 yards so far in the second half. Number of plays are dead even, 60 apiece. Addison will run this out from 5 yards. And again, Fresno covers the kick well, and Addison once again can't get to the 20. In fact, he didn't get to the 15. You think about Fresno State's defense, they last year allowed an average of 35 points a game, 435 yards a game, average.
It's a huge sore spot for this defense and the fans of the Fresno State Bulldogs. And Nick Toth said, look, it's about attitude. It's about mojo. We have to go out there and fly around and hit people, and good things are going to happen.
And that's what Oregon's going to try now to swing back all the flow their way. Barner gets a carry for 3 yards. That's the 24th carry for Kenjon Barner. Mariota's pass, that'll be a first down. Spin after the catch by Keenan Lowe. And Oregon pushing it out to the 30-yard line. And they see Lowe just trying to get off the field right away and get a new guy out there so they can keep the tempo going. Mariota going to keep? No. Tripped up. Couldn't get out, and there's Palugo again. I think, Adam, he's made some pretty impressive plays today.
Yeah, he's had a game, and that's a good job of coming down, trying to take away the read for Mariota to hand the ball off to Kenjon Barner, and then coming out and making the play again. He called his number quite a bit today.
Flags the start. This must be on the defense. They didn't blow the play dead. And Darrell Hawkins runs it out to the 35-yard line. And we've got an injured Oregon lineman. And that's Carson York. Great story. He worked so hard to come back from a knee injury he suffered in the Rose Bowl.
Illegal motion, offense, number 15, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
All right, so it's a motion penalty. That's why they didn't whistle it dead.
You see Colt Laerla, tight end right there, on the line on the left side right there.
Tough moment. Carson York, a senior, and they have such respect on this team. Barner going inside on second down, trying to just get something back. Doesn't get much.
We take a look at this offense coming out in the third quarter, and Chip Kelly and his teams are traditionally really good at the halftime adjustments. They usually come out on fire after halftime, but I think it's Fresno State, especially defensively, a little bit of a revival that's really come out and hasn't let Oregon get anything.
And this is an Oregon team that, again, we're going to get a defensive timeout taken here by Fresno State.
Fresno State, timeout number 1, 30 seconds, timeout.
Pretty significant third down play in their world, in the Fresno world, coming here. They want to get the ball right back and see if they can build on this.
That's not what we're used to seeing when Oregon plays, but again, this Fresno team went down at halftime on a pretty low note with Oregon just rolling. And I think the message from Tim DeRuyter was heard by the guys in that locker room. They came out and they're playing, doing a good job, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They're getting after Mariota. They're not allowing the run game to get going. Pressure causing turnovers. This is the type of defense that they want to see the Bulldogs play throughout the season.
Six conversions on third down today for Oregon, 6 of 12, but Mariota and the Ducks facing a major challenge here, needing 16. And Fresno bringing a bunch. They had 6 up near the line. They rush 4. Mariota misses 1. Mariota's going to get some yardage, but can't get to the stick. Darren Smith took him out to the sideline. Did not allow Mariota to get that last turn up in bounds.
Well, good job initially of eluding the pressure and then breaking the pocket, but 16 yards is a lot of yards to get on third downs on a quarterback scramble. Again, Fresno State defense doing what they're supposed to do, giving their offense another chance at the ball. And so far in this quarter, holding the Ducks scoreless.
Credit Travis Brown as well, who actually hit Mariota and drove him out of bounds. 44-yard punt by Rice is a fair catch, but Fresno State going to get right back to work here. This time they'll have to drive the field. But they would love to do that here at the end of the third quarter and really see if they can make this a game. And just watching this third quarter, Adam, I'm having a flashback last week in the Pac-12 networks, San Jose State and Stanford. As you see Oregon's upcoming schedule, San Jose State and Stanford last week, where San Jose State did this very same thing in the third quarter. They spun the game their way, and Stanford did not have a big enough cushion. Now a different quarterback in the game. That is Greg Watson taking the snap and running it. Watson, a 5'10", 211-pound sophomore from Bakersfield. And one snap. Carr's back on the field. Oh, and Rouse, that's one of the few times he's been able to really get past the line of scrimmage. And he bursts it out to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, nice job on the left side there with the center, Lars Bramer, and Matt Hunt, the left guard. A nice little crease there for Robbie Rouse to run through, and really the first time he's been able to get into the second level of the Ducks defense. 15
yards. Carr, boy, Alonso was coming in on him again, and this time Carr just launched it. All right, so what do you think Carr's saying? You've been a defender in those situations. Alonso's been in his face a lot. What would Carr be saying to him?
He's saying, hey, look, I know you're coming, but I got you on the last one.
Yeah, he's right. Carr changing, still has 10 on the play clock. Throws an underneath ball. It's going to get some yards, give him a shorter third. Adams the catch. Burse and Adams, the wide receivers, have been Carr's targets today. Burse has caught 7 and a touchdown. Adams has caught 7. But now Fresno State, which has only converted 1 third down today, faces 3rd and 4. Carr hit as he's throwing. And this will be a tough 4th down to go for, still in your own territory. Seiko Lacombo, the Oregon linebacker, hitting Carr. Tim DeRuyter changed his mind. He was going to send the punt team out, and he's changed his mind. Fresno State's going to go for it.
Well, it was a great job of Lacombo coming underneath the right tackle, Cody Wickman. And if he wasn't there, Derek Carr was going to be able to step up and throw the ball.
Well, the Bulldogs going on 4th. Here comes the blitz, and it's again a quick kick, but this one's not very far. And that doesn't work the way Tim DeRuyter would have wanted. So the second quick kick in the game executed by Derek Carr. He didn't get very much distance on that.
Well, it was an all-out blitz. They brought everybody, no defensive back to help on the inside, and the pressure got there so fast, Derek Carr didn't have any chance to get his foot on the ball.
And the change of field position is only about 20 yards. 20 yards exactly. 34-yard line for Oregon in the final minute of the 3rd. Mariota keeps, then pitches. And DeAnthony Thomas is run out. So this 3rd quarter, the Fresno State defense been able to keep the incredible speed of Oregon from hurting them, both Barner and Thomas.
Well, that was a great example, Ted, of just assignment football. They took away the dive on the read. They took away the quarterback option with Mariota. And they did a great job when they got the ball to DeAnthony Thomas to make the tackle.
Taking him all the way to the sideline. Now Mariota throws one up the sideline, incomplete. Trying to hit Keenan low. They'll have one more play for the 3rd quarter. And it's going to be 3rd and 8.
Grant, again, a great situation for the Fresno State defense. 3rd and long. And you have to tip your hat to the way they have come out and played in this 3rd quarter. This is not the Oregon offense that we are used to seeing. They look out of sync. They just don't seem to be able to get anything going.
So they face a longer 3rd. Mariota is going to roll. He's going to keep it. He's going to get it, and a lot more. A lot more. All the way down to the Fresno State 35, and a flag thrown at the end of the play. Flag was thrown in the secondary on the near sideline at the end of the play.
The body language does not suggest that this is going to go Oregon's way.
Well, the quarter is over. The question is, does it end on Oregon's big first down play? Another long discussions. Lots of long ones. So the field
there was no foul on the play on number 54. The block was a side block. Quarter is over.
All right, well, the long discussion comes up with a verdict that pleases the Oregon fans. They'll have first down in Fresno State territory. Oregon really started this game and have leaned on the running game for much of it, Adam.
It was a 1-2 combination of Kenjon Barner and, of course, DeAnthony Thomas, and it looked like early in the game, Oregon was rolling offensively on the ground, but you have to credit Fresno State defense getting the ball back to the offense in great field position in the second half, and then Derek Carr getting it done with a couple of nice passes to get on the board.
With Adam Archuleta, Yogi Roth, Ted Robinson, we're in Eugene at Autzen Stadium. Early Saturday evening now. What was it? Just a spectacular Saturday, 75 or so degrees. And the Duck fans were pretty comfortable at halftime, less so as we start the fourth. But Mariota's 28-yard run on the last play of the third has set Oregon up. Now Thomas gets to the sideline. It was pushed out of bounds. 9 yards on that gain. You can see it's just waiting for the ball to be placed. Oregon's all 11 men are ready to play. Mariota. Ooh, he came close. Saving tackle there by Nico Mata.
Well, his nice job of reading the outside linebacker right there of the zone read. Watch as he comes down to tackle Barner. He gets the tackle, or gets a block by the tackle Tyler Johnstone, and cuts it up inside.
Oh, Mariota, the ball's free, and Fresno has it. Mariota took a huge blast. Philip Thomas had jarred the ball free, and Fresno State has forced its third fumble of the second half.
Well, last week there was a blitz or two that Mariota did not recognize. And right there, Philip Thomas, who has been such a huge addition this year on this defense after being out all year last year, comes in, blasts Mariota, and another forced turnover and a big play for the defense.
So Derek Carr back to work. Going to run the ball on first down. Robbie Rouse avoided a bigger loss. Still will have a minus play out of this on his 19th carry of the day. Tyson Coleman made that big penetration play for the Oregon defense.
And so far, 3 turnovers. That's a third of all the turnovers that they had last year.
I mean, you're saying we're into the fourth quarter now, and Oregon has not scored a point in the second half after making a lot of last week and this week, making it look so easy for so long. Devontae Adams. And he's got a first down to the 37 on his 8th catch. You're missing a senior receiver, Rashad Evans, big part of Fresno State's offense. He is ineligible, declared by the NCAA for this game and 2 more. So without as much depth in the wide receiver core, Adams and Burse have been the main targets for Carr today. Nice counter play. They ran this earlier, and Robbie Rouse runs it big time. Inside the Oregon 40. 24 yards.
A great job again. Everybody's showing blitz on the line of scrimmage for the Oregon Ducks. And right between the center of the guard, a lane pops wide open for Robbie Rouse, and he gets into the secondary.
Carr throws it for a completion. And Adams take a big hit there. What does that running play, what is that trying to take advantage of, Adam?
Well, Oregon's defense, especially their linebackers, they're so fast and they pursue over the top so well. So what they do when they fake that sprint out action, they get the linebackers going one way, and then Robbie Rouse is able to cut back against the grain.
Oregon just made some defensive subs. Hand the ball to Rouse. Can't find a hole there on the right side. Dion Jordan plugs it for Oregon. And now Fresno State, 1 of 14 today on third downs. Driving towards that one section, that one lone section of red amidst a stadium of yellow today. And the yellow are trying to get the defense fired. 3rd and 5. Middle blitz. Carr throws a deep ball, incomplete. Receiver did not get there, and a flag comes down. Victor Dean, 15 yards away from where the ball eventually landed. And Chip Kelly's trying to suggest that same thing. Not a catchable ball.
Pass interference, defense number 27. Automatic first down.
So Terrence Mitchell of Oregon is flagged. And that gives Fresno State a first down.
Oh, what a big play. They've been so awful today on third down. Now here they go again.
A three-man bunch to the right, run it to the left. Robbie Rouse's 22nd carry. He's closing in. He's over 90 yards now for the afternoon. But one big one, one big play. He's actually run that same play that you referenced, Adam. He's run it twice today. Those have been his 2 best runs.
Yeah, great job of scheming against the fast and athletic Oregon defense to try and catch them off guard. Here they are, Oregon all at the line of scrimmage again.
They've got, well, 9 men now within a yard of the line. And Fresno does try to run against that, and Rouse gets very little.
Robbie Rouse, it looked like they had a chance, but Taylor Hart in there at defensive end, stacking everything up.
So now Fresno State goes empty. Rouse is at the bottom of your screen. Oregon drops back now. They play too deep. Carr throws the underneath cross. That will not get the first down. Victor Dean on the catch. And they're at a point in the game here where a field goal really doesn't appear like it would help Fresno State very much.
And Derek Malone was all over that.
But they are going to kick it. It's the math is Fresno State needs 2 touchdowns with 2-point conversions and a field goal. That's the math. And so they choose here to see if they can get the field goal and keep them alive.
And again, the Ducks defense forcing field goals in the red zone.
And Brashear's kick is good. Did he call the bank? He'll take it. That's his 3rd made field goal today. And Oregon's lead, 35-19. The proper here to Brashears, the Fresno State kicker, his 4th field goal of the day, and that is brought Fresno State within 16. Rouse with 94 yards on the ground. Fresno State to kick. Oregon's got a lot of people not quite up like an onside kick, but they're definitely playing up. And Fresno does kick it. Addison coming up. And does break the 20 to the 23 for the Oregon offense. The Coors Light freeze can.
Well, after getting the ball back in their own territory, Derek Carr drops it right in the bucket to Isaiah Burse. We had Kiko Alonso bearing down on him, took a pretty good shot in the knee. That was a great job improvising, buying some time, and making a play.
Carr 25 out of 43 today throwing. 3 turnovers by Oregon so far in the second half. Trying to sustain something here, and they get a ball again to DeAnthony Thomas. 7 yards on first down.
The Bulldogs have tackled well in this second half today. That's something they did not do a good job early in the game. They've turned it around so far.
Have you noticed, is there anything different in scheme or theory by the Fresno defense?
I think it's just a matter of settling down and being where you're supposed to be, quite honestly. I think it's that simple.
Just playing back. Second down handoff. Barner going to stretch. Barner first and all the way out across the 40-yard line. 11 yards first down for Kenjon Barner. Yogi?
Yeah, this is a critical drive with Marcus Mariota. Remember, he sets all the pass protection, and Fresno's going to continue to bring pressure like you guys have been mentioning. He's going to make sure he slides his offensive line and his running back to the proper area so he can stay protected.
Philip Thomas just ran up on the right flank there and got Mariota's attention. Philip Thomas, who blitzed in the previous drive and sacked Mariota, forcing a fumble. So an inside give here to Barner on first down. Barner's had this kind of workload last year. He had a 31 carry game for 171 against Arizona State. He now has 27 carries today for 148. Plenty of time on the clock so Mariota can look to the sideline. 3 different versions of semaphore, and he knows which one to read. Inside give to Barner, trying to break it outside, and does bounce it out just shy of a first down at the 50. Darren Smith again for Fresno State.
Well, nice job by Laierla pushing down his defensive end, and Kenjon Barner seeing the cut, making it, then getting the stiff arm to go pick up some extra yards.
Less than a yard here. Three receivers left, running inside, and Barner got the first down. He took a good pop there from Patrick Sua, but not until Barner got the yardage for an Oregon first.
That was a nice blue-collar football play right there. Sua coming up and stoning Barner. Watch him feel the hole right here. But Barner falls forward. Nice job by keeping his legs going.
Is there anything different going on here? There's Mariota looking now, it seems like each of the last 3-4 plays, looking to the sideline.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting the signal from Chip Kelly.
Outside gets Thomas. And that's down near the 40. Yeah, because this hasn't happened until this drive here, where each of the last few snaps, Mariota's had to look over to the signal.
And I think it's because of that sack by Philip Thomas. Chip Kelly doesn't want to get his young freshman killed back there.
Chip Kelly calls the plays here so that I get a three-man signal set on the sideline is what Mariota is looking at. And Barner runs it inside. He's going to get to the 36-yard line. All right, so let me suggest something that might be blasphemous, but I'll suggest it. There you see you've got the boards, and those are very entertaining boards, but there's three people alongside that do hand signals. All meant to disguise. Third down and short. A blasphemous suggestion. Could Oregon be interested here in milking a little clock?
I think it's more a function of not getting your quarterback killed and making sure that the protections are there. Because in this second half, they've been able to get to Mariota.
Ooh, a high snap handled, and the first down run again by Barner.
And now we've seen that play 3 or 4 times in this drive alone, so the game plan is starting to get simplified, and they have a pretty good lead here. I know it goes against everything that Chip Kelly is all about, but
that's why I understand it's blasphemous, but I'm wondering if that isn't even a minor part of this. So now you've taken the game clock down to 5.5. There's Fresno this time all over the run. Matt Harrison, linebacker from Fresno, tackling Barner. Barner's 32nd carry today. 170 yards. 81st play coming up for Oregon. And all this is doing as well, I mean, this is serving dual purpose. Oregon is marching the ball for the first time in the half, stringing first downs together, and side benefit perhaps, but it's running clock. Now Barner bursts, and Barner's inside the 20. $15 more for Kenjon Barner.
Oh, and it's clever stuff by Barner, the patience. You see the offensive lineman getting to the next level. A nice vision right there to see the cut and get upfield.
Now Oregon starting to get a little quicker here in the tempo, and now peeling back. Barner told us a great story yesterday. We asked him what was the best reaction he had heard from an opposing defensive player about Oregon's tempo, and he told us there was one game where he ran a bunch of plays, and one of the defensive linemen said, if you run one more play at this tempo, I'm going to throw up. And Barner seals the deal. And in Eugene now, a big collective exhale. The second half frustration ends as Barner finishes the drive.
There's a miscommunication right there. Philip Thomas and Sean Plummer. Philip Thomas was responsible for Mariota, and Sean Plummer didn't see Kenjon Barner. He crashed down, and it left an easy lane and a path to the end zone.
And there you see Barner gets over 200. His first time. First time for Oregon since LaMichael James ran for 219 last year against UCLA. And that drive, effective in every way. Builds the lead, burns the clock.
From the time I was born, I was destined to be University of Washington Husky. This is the
River just outside Autzen Stadium. Running inside Autzen Stadium today has been Kenjon Barner. 3 rushing touchdowns, 201 yards.
It's been a nice day. He's shown it all. He's shown the speed on the outside, on the edges. He's gotten the tough yards inside. It's a heck of a day for Kenjon Barner.
Isaiah Burse coming up, and Fresno State today. One area that I think they'll be okay with is special teams. Both kick, cover, and in that case, kick return. The Barner allowing Oregon to feel a little more comfortable. Quicken Loan's amazing play of the game and an amazing first half. This was the play by DeAnthony Thomas.
Well, how can you not talk about DeAnthony Thomas? He goes upfield, breaks a tackle by a thumper and Philip Thomas, and game in, game out, he does nothing but impress and excite everybody who watches.
Hasn't been terribly heavily involved in the second half. You can see 7 rushes in the game, 2 touchdowns. He's caught 4 passes, but Barner has carried the biggest load for the Oregon offense today. Carr for the Fresno State offense, 44 passes. And number 45 is going to be Davante Adams, and is just short of a first down. Kenjon Barner had a chance last week to visit LaMichael James before the first week of the NFL season. Came back to the school. Hung out with Barner. Now on third down they get Robbie Rouse running the ball, and Rouse, that'll give him a 100-yard day. And I'll say that's a credit to Robbie Rouse's toughness, isn't it, Adam? He's had to earn the 100.
It hasn't come as easy as DeAnthony Thomas's or Kenjon Barner's, but he's been a workhorse for this team. And the better he plays, the more they can get him the ball, the better on offense that they're going to be.
It was actually a backwards pass to Rouse, and he's dropped for a loss, a big loss by the Oregon D.
And that was Derek Malone, open field tackling. And for the most part, the Oregon Ducks done a great job of tackling the entire game today.
That actually goes down statistically as a running play because it was a backwards throw. Carr throws one up there, and Victor Dean, and since the defensive back Jackson did not turn to face the ball, he'll get a flag.
That's exactly what happens. Ball a little bit underthrown again. You'd like to get a tall wide receiver like Davante Adams. The ball up in the air.
Pass interference, defense number 15, not playing the ball. 15-yard penalty, first down.
You heard good explanation, not playing the ball. And this is Aaron Peck, who is the receiver.
That's an easy call.
So Fresno State gets a first down at the Oregon 31. Look out to the side. That might be another first down to Davante Adams. Well, you're getting an idea. Mountain West Conference, they're going to see a lot of Davante Adams this year. 7 catches in his first game last week. That's his 12th today.
He's really burst on the scene, and they needed some wide receivers to step up for this team. Young guy, has a lot of football to learn, but they showed a lot of potential.
Oh, nice cutback run by Rouse, and Fresno State will have first and goal. One thing that Oregon has well, let's see. There's the ball out at the end. Fresno State lineup, they want to go ahead and play here. It's first and goal. Trying to see a flag there.
Personal foul, defense number 5, leading with the helmet, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Now that's that safety rule. Isaac Dixon called, leading with the helmet.
Well, that's dangerous.
And Rouse earlier today went past the school record for rushes. He's less than 100 yards now from the school rushing record. May well get that next week at home. And there's a good tackle to prevent the touchdown. That's Jackson again, but the flag comes down. Now the helmet came off. He has to leave for a play. There's also a flag. Watson made the catch. Greg Watson.
There was no foul on the play. Number 12 must leave for it now because his helmet came off through play.
Jay Stricker says the rule. Helmet off, you leave for a play. Now, Fresno State's been down here a lot today. They've only scored 1 touchdown.
And that's probably going to be the one thing that Tim DeRuyter's not going to like.
And they get a second one easily there by Rouse with 90 seconds to play. So Robbie Rouse's first rushing touchdown today, 115 yards.
Well, as you take a look at that last drive, I think the offensive line for Fresno State really handled Oregon. I know it's late in the game and you have a pretty good lead, but I think the Bulldogs have done some really positive things in this second half, and they can build off of this performance. The first half, not so much, but here in the last 2 quarters, I think they're doing some good things.
The Bulldogs line up for 2 and roll out Carr. And the back of the end zone does not get it. Intended for Watson again. Would have been at the back of the end zone anyway. But Fresno State drives the field again on Oregon.